Another thing you should consider is the use of intrusion detection. Now, both intrusion detection and intrusion prevention can discover unauthorized use of computers and networks through the use of their software that was designed for detecting those types of attack. Now, once a violation has been identified, the person identifying the violation should report the problem. In fact, hopefully, if it's a good IDS, IPS, it will do the report for you. Security administration and management should work to investigate and determine the severity of the violation. The executive management should be notified if it's a serious attempt, but not to notify law enforcement because that's something upper management needs to make that decision about. Consider, by the way, as long as what I just said is right for the jurisdiction that you live in. Gotta put that little extra caveat in there, right? Consider public relations. I mean, if you had a serious breach, like just recently here, this company called Epsilon, which manages contact information for apparently a lot of companies, got hacked, including my information. And I don't know how many emails now I've been getting that says, you know, beware, your email and name and information has now been released to whoever hacked it. You know, how does that make me feel about wanting to use those companies again for online work, right? So now they're going to have to get in kind of a public relations mode. You also have to make sure you facilitate the proper handling of an access violation. And, of course, above and beyond everything else, take the corrective measures to stop it from happening again. Another issue when it comes to securing is the storing, retrieving, transporting, and the disposing of confidential information. Now, all of these should be thought about as far as where I find data. You know, I have data on backup files of databases, of data banks, you know, the old days of tape. What do? You just throw them away? No. Well, I mean, you could. But, you know, anybody who has the ability to read those through whatever hardware they buy owns your information. Sure, it's not up to date, but I bet you there's more than enough information in there that they can use to be a profit to them. You know, that's why you also talked about encrypting your backup files, you know, so that if they're stolen, they're not used. But now we're talking about you're done with them, and you're going to get rid of them, or you're going to transport them, whatever you're going to do. You need to have plans in place to control that entire process of data. I've already said that your data should be secured at rest, that's the storing, and in motion, that'd be the retrieving or transporting. And transporting, by the way, could be literally me driving the backup tapes to an offsite location. And whereas many of you might have thought transportation has a bunch of ones and zeros being transmitted across the network. But I'm talking about all forms of that. And of course, again, at the disposal, we need to make sure that we sanitize everything. So media, right? It can hold confidential information. And you know, we have to think about it. I mean, we have to be worried about the management of equipment that's sent off-site for maintenance and repair. That's right. If I take my laptop to a store to get repaired, one of the first things they always ask is, what's my password? Because they want to go in and verify things are working, right? Well, by the way, I encrypt everything. And when I have had those few times that I've actually worried about it, I created an account for whoever the maintenance person was going to be so that they would have the bare minimum access to do what they needed to verify that things are working. Usually it was a hardware repair of some kind. Now, any agency concerned with sensitive or critical information needs to, again, make sure that they have a policy in place to control that information. Again, the sanitization, if you need to, or to be able to encrypt it, whatever you need to do. You might consider e-token electronic keys, again, a part of the method of doing encryption, and even storage records. All of this is information that you need to be right on top of, knowing that it can be basically stolen from you at any point.